Everybody, I know it's a fantastic day, a wonderful day for many people. Tax day.
We are recording on tax day.
Woohoo! But I want to use this as a deep reminder to everyone that there are massive corporations that pay $0 in taxes. Meanwhile, you are agonizing over every single deduction humanly possible.
Tell me and tell us and tell our listeners. Give us some examples of corporations that don't pay taxes.
First of
Gina.
all, we posted it first thing this morning on our Instagram. Guys, DTE Energy has paid 0 in federal taxes in 2025.
Do say.
Are they considered a corporation? Are they considered a nonprofit? Like, do we know what their status is?
They're not a nonprofit.
They're a corporate utility.
But you know, Blue Cross and Blue Shield is considered a nonprofit.
Well, that's a fucking
DTE
joke.
is a corporate utility for profit.
Yep. Okay.
Entity.
And they pay 0 taxes, but they want another rate hike.
Yes.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, they found a way to game the system here, and then they turn right around. They keep squeezing Michigan families with higher rates while they spread the money around Lansing, right? So they're not making any, like, they're not paying taxes.
Nope.
They're, like, year after year, it's, like, top ever quarter, like, earnings. Like, they are just winning for their shareholders.
They're investing in all of these AI data centers.
And they just, like, bribe our elected officials. I'm going to use the word bribe. They literally donate to our elected officials.
Donate with air quotes.
And somehow all of their rate hikes keep getting approved.
I wonder why.
Shocking. I mean, we all had some severe weather here, you know, over the last 24 hours too. I was up in the middle of the night with my kids and I was frankly shocked that our power didn't go out.
Yeah, it was bad. I got that hot tornado alert at 2:30 in the morning, which I was not happy about. But whatever. Global warming, climate change, whatever you want to call it. But I do have another corporation that we need to talk about that pays 0 taxes before we get started. And that's our good friends, Palantir, the eye in the sky. Big brother himself. Palantir pays $0 in taxes. And get this, right? Here's another thing a lot of people don't know about Palantir. They get directly paid by the IRS.
Yeah, they're literally getting paid to do what they're doing.
Yes, they are getting paid. First of all, they're entrenched in multiple branches of government, but the IRS
we have like a ridiculous amount of government contracts with Palantir.
Yes.
We are funding Palantir.
Yes, 100%. Right now they're at about 180 million in with just a handful of government entities. But I bring it up because it is tax time, and Palantir has gotten the go ahead to view all of our personal data when you pay your taxes. So just know when you pay your taxes that Peter Thiel can,
he's getting richer
read
off
all
it.
your stuff.
Yeah, he's reading all your shit. They're making they're data modeling everybody.
Yeah.
So they're turning you
They're
into
putting all your shit in their AI.
Yeah, you're being profiled.
You know that part of the Matrix where like he sees the Matrix and like everyone is just
Peter
lines
Thiel.
of code?
Yeah, that's Peter Thiel. Everybody is lines of code.
Everyone is
Peter
just
Thiel.
lines of zeros and ones to Peter Thiel.
Exactly.
And he's getting paid for it.
Thank you guys for joining in for Point of Disorder. Your host Norris Howard here as we record on this beautiful tax day. I'm joined by our intrepid crew. Adrienne, say what's up.
Hi, what's up?
And Gina's here too.
Hey, everybody.
Don't forget, you can find us on all your social medias. That is at Point of Disorder and at The Still Social and at The Guerrilla Politic on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and all the places where you go to rot your brain. And
where all the data mining is happening.
There you go. And, speaking of taxes and sort of, affordability, everybody's talking about, oh, my return is bigger this year. I've heard a couple people talk about their returns being bigger this year and so on and so forth. People excited about that. But everybody's using their tax returns to pay off credit cards.
They're paying off credit cards and they're paying for gas.
Yes.
Those are the, like some people are saying we're just stocking it away because everything is so expensive.
I just want to say, like, the average American isn't really getting, like Trump's trying to sell you this bill of goods. you're not seeing anything meaningful. Maybe $350 tops.
Yep.
I got
think-
1,200 back, but it's all got to go to
It's all
my
going
credit
away.
card. It's all going to be gone.
You're a business owner, so you're not the average.
Truth.
Right.
It's true.
I had to file an extension because my brain hurts, and so
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it later.
No, I have a great accountant if you need her.
I might
She's
need
fabulous.
so. But
she got me $1,200.
I bring this up, I bring this up to say that's not a great sign for the economy, right? When I was growing up in the 90s and tax time came around, I knew it was game time because that means we going to Disney World, or that means we going to Cedar Point, or that means we're going on vacation. Like that was what tax time was when I was growing up, or somebody is getting a down payment on a car or something like that.
But what that's also saying is that if you are getting back more, is that you're paying too much to the government the whole year.
That's right.
And if you owe, then you're not paying enough. You should always be aiming for zero.
You
Zero is the number.
you should be aiming for zero, but I could tell you,
Yes.
as somebody who was a benefactor of them tax returns, I was cool with them trips to Disney World. Okay,
That
I
ain't
went-
happening
I
no
went
more,
to
though.
Disney World 4 times
Look
off
at
tax
you.
returns.
I lived
okay?
in Florida when I was a kid, and I never went to Disney World 4 times.
Actually, no, I take it back. I went to Disney World twice. I went to Universal twice.
Okay.
That's where I saw Ric Flair. But anyway, we bring
Nature
up this-
boy.
I did see the nature boy,
Okay.
but I got to bring up this DoorDash grandma lady. Because I'm not sure if everybody out there saw. And Adrienne, you were very tickled by this whole scenario.
I don't know if tickled is the right word. I saw it and first I thought it was AI because we know Trump's been using a lot of AI lately. And he's coming out of the White House and he's getting his McDonald's DoorDash from this older woman in a DoorDash shirt, which first of all, this was dissected all over Reddit.
Who got out of a DoorDash car.
Got out of a DoorDash car, right? The whole thing was
I'm
branded
canceling
DoorDash.
my DoorDash.
You are?
Deleting the app immediately.
delete it.
The
The
whole
whole thing.
fucking thing was a farce.
It was a sponsored fucking farce.
That's
and
the only thing that happens at the White House this day. It's like the new QVC.
Right. It's just
Right.
squad time.
it's
Exactly.
gross. It's gross. And it's like, okay, this is wrong on so many levels because we know this woman was a paid actor, right? But then you're also thinking about how Americans right now can't afford their groceries. They can't afford their energy bills. They can't afford their prescription drugs. So they're taking to DoorDash and these
Adrienne.
other subscription services to work there.
Whoever set this up is so fucking stupid. They didn't realize they were literally giving us like the perfect example of like the failed American experiment.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you have an older lady who can't retire because her husband, they can't afford his health care and he has cancer.
Right.
So she's driving for DoorDash to
Right.
pay for her like older husband's health care.
Healthcare.
That's exactly
What part of this
the vibe.
situation is okay with the average American?
Nope. No, and I always think about that too when I'm out and about and I see retirees who are working in service jobs and I'm like, are you doing this because you need to? Because you need to be able to afford certain things in your
9
life
times
and
out
you
of 10,
can't
yeah.
actually enjoy your retirement? Or maybe you're doing it because you want something to do outside of the house. But like seeing this DoorDash grandma was so disturbing. And again, seeing it cut up all over Reddit where people who actually work for DoorDash were talking about there's no safety seal on the bag and nobody's wearing that shirt and nobody's walking up to the White House to
The
hand the president
DoorDash
shit.
like CEO or PR guy was like totally crashing out on Twitter. Like it was hysterical.
But it's like because the thing is, it's like in no real world scenario would a DoorDasher be able to just walk through the Rose Garden and
What's left of the Rose Garden.
and hand deliver DoorDash to the
No.
president.
Well, people were showing this woman in videos in other parts of the country. Apparently, the Republican Party will fly her around to speak at roundtables on various things. She just apparently looks the part, right? In another video, she's saying she was going to like, she's from like Missouri or something, or is she from Arkansas? Like, they're so like. This whole fucking thing was a setup.
This woman is AI.
Like no
She's
tax
walking,
on
talking
tips
AI.
is like does not save you $11,000. That whole thing is a fucking farce. And if you want to help wait staff or people who live off of tips, you raise their base income.
Yeah, you pay them.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, like before we change subject, I do want to say this, right? Because here in Detroit, we've been having this big thing with like teen takeovers and all that's been happening across the country.
I heard about this.
A lot of those kids in normal times will be working jobs.
Right.
They would be working at McDonald's. They would be working. I mean, some of them would be door dashing because that would be the equivalent of fast food now, or pizza delivery or something like that. But they can't because all those jobs are being taken up by retirees and by people who, and honestly, a lot of college educated folks who have not had the chance to build up experience.
Right. They need to do that. Or if you're a TSA officer and every time the government shuts down, you have to get a second or a third job.
Exactly.
So you go to DoorDash.
So anyway, beyond this paid actor sponsored content foolishness, at the White House, it was a bit of a thing that was kind of like ha-ha funny. But one thing that is not ha-ha funny that we are seeing is that folks are approaching French levels of pissed off when it comes to wages, when it comes to standards of living, and when it comes to the economy. And y'all, I'm bringing this up in all seriousness. We now have 10 warehouse fires going around across the country in various states. One Amazon worker has passed away.
Like, I just want to point out, like, in less than a week.
Yeah, in less than a week. And we're talking about approaching
They're not reporting on it because they don't want you to know that this is happening.
Well, they don't want people to continue to keep doing it.
Well,
right?
yeah, they don't want
to fan the flames, if
they
you
don't
will.
want copycat stuff. But at the end, listen, social media is ubiquitous, and it doesn't matter if the regular news is going to report on it or not. People have already seen these things. And to the point where people are memeing. There was a guy who set the toilet paper factory on fire, and he said all you had to do was pay us enough to live.
Right.
And that is, it was, when you watch the video, it's chilling because clearly this person is very upset and angry.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of feelings of, resentment, inadequacy, not being able to provide for yourself and your family. And so this person resorted to a very violent act of arson.
The crazy part of all of that is, like, the same week all of this is happening, an employee of Amazon died while working at his warehouse. And another employee, like, this man collapsed. He wasn't breathing. Another employee said, I know CPR, I'll go help him, was stopped by the manager.
Manager's
said,
like, don't resuscitate.
He was like, you're not like
God.
trained EMT. You can't, we can't let you do anything. And they were like, and the manager was just like, just turn around and don't look at him. There's literally a dead body on the warehouse floor. Nobody's helping this man. And the manager is telling everybody, just don't look at him. Look away.
This is where we are, y'all.
Well, I don't know what stage of capitalism this is, but
it's late stage.
This
the guys
is
were
where we
like,
are.
the notes at the top of our scratch pattern said, keep it light. It's nice outside. And there's really nothing darker than this, than the corporate overlords.
It gets better. It gets funnier.
I stay with us, you guys. Stay with us. But we're talking about these corporations.
we're getting to the Trump Pope meme soon.
Right,
so
right.
hang
but
in there.
But we're talking about these corporations that are exploiting labor at the end of the day. Whether that's a DoorDash, whether that's Amazon, working people to death, literally working people to death that they're dropping dead in warehouses. That, of course people are angry.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is that the CEO of the toilet paper company that the warehouse got set on fire, they came out and, they talked about, the building is destroyed, it was a warehouse full of toilet paper.
Right.
So it went up like that.
A lot of fuel.
So it was a lot of fuel. They talked about, $100 million in product loss and all this other stuff.
They have insurance.
And the crazy part about it is, at no point was there any sort of acknowledgement of the frustration of this person.
Right.
What drives a person to say, I am willing to go to prison and basically for months and months and maybe years put all the people around me out of a job, by the way. But we never addressed that. And these CEOs are making, 500 times more than the average employee on the floor. And how can we continue on this clip? Because this is going to happen more, and it is going to happen in more dramatic ways. And I'm sorry, just building a bunker or just coming out and telling us how much money you lost is not going to make anybody empathetic to the situation.
World's smallest violin, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's just you're not valuing the workers, and therefore the workers will not value the work. And then when that starts happening, then you get issues like this.
And you know the crazy part about all of this? They've already like indicted the guy who set the fire in Toronto, and like they're like he's going to jail for life.
For
And,
life.
Nobody in the Epstein files has been arrested yet.
Nope.
Still,
No.
Not in the United States, at least.
No, same thing for the guy at the toilet paper factory. This was one in California, San Bernardino County, and this was a Kimberly Clark toilet paper.
Kimberly Clark.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kimberly Clark is owned by the Koch brothers.
Yeah, it was Ontario, California, and he's been arrested and charged with arson.
Yeah.
And he's facing 20 years.
Yeah. Okay.
$500 million.
I take it back. It is not owned or associated with the Koch brothers.
Yeah, we
I'm
won't.
making shit up.
Yeah, don't get us sued.
Yeah, no, but okay. So Kimberly Clark.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To Gina's point, no one in the Epstein files has been arrested, questioned, prosecuted. If you're in the United States and you're in those files, they're still kind of going underground. Nobody's really even talking about them anymore.
Toilet paper's worth more than young girls anyway.
Oh my God.
Just
Think about COVID, right?
That's
When
what I'm
everyone's
saying.
stocking up on the toilet paper. Anyway.
the poetic justice of that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I don't even know how to fucking transition out of this,
I'll
but
transition.
we need something funny here. We need some levity.
There you go. Levity.
Gina tried to take this out of our notes, but we said no. We need to bring up Trump's fight with the Pope.
Yes, we have to, because first and foremost, this is splitting the religious community in twain when it comes to conservatism. And let me say this, y'all. This is a fight just like the Iran war that Trump didn't need to take. He could have left this alone. The Pope has always spoken out, regardless of who the Pope is. The Pope has always talked about we want peace in the world and all this other stuff. And, I can feel how I feel about Catholicism and all that.
I am a lapsed Catholic, so I will be our expert Catholic here
I'm just
today.
saying we can feel how we feel about that. I'm just saying in my lifetime, the Pope genuinely has got into his little glass car and waved at the people and said we should stop killing each other. All right.
Oh my God.
Usually.
You know what we missed? We missed the tie-in between Catholicism and pedophiles and the Epstein files.
There you go. That was you.
Damn.
But I was trying to keep it light. It's nice outside.
Damn. Well, okay. So Pope Leo and Trump and JD Vance are all having this argument about the Iran war, right? Because, the Pope's like, hey, no war. That's not cool. We don't do this. And JD Vance is telling Pope Leo to stay out of matters of politics and theology.
He's basically he said stay out of theology, stay in your what the fuck?
Isn't that that's his
That's
fucking
his whole
lane?
job.
It's like telling Neil deGrasse Tyson to
Stay out of astrophysics.
Stop talking about the moon. What do you know?
So my first thought was like maybe Leo needs to stay out of it because JD Vance killed the last pope.
That's true.
So we need to be extra
Well, he
careful
didn't kill
here.
him,
But he met him and then he died the next day.
And the next day, the guy was
Suspicious
not
timing.
around.
It was very
But-
suspicious timing.
But what's so funny about this is that I have not normally seen a dude get this reaction out of Trump. Like usually Trump, it goes after women in this way,
Yeah.
right? He usually doesn't go after other men in this way.
The Pope does wear a dress.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he
Okay.
can't tell the difference. But the point is that so as this big argument between JD Vance and Trump on one side and, the world of Catholicism on the other, Trump decides to put out an AI image of himself as Jesus.
It's Jesus healing the sick.
Healing the sick.
And then called himself a doctor because he was like, "Oh, I'm confused. I thought I was making myself a doctor in this image."
First of all, all right, before we even get there, I'm not religious and I don't have a lot of religious people in my family, but I have talked to the few religious people that I know, and they are furious. They're very angry.
My
about
mom
this.
is very upset.
They are very, very, very angry.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the religious boomers in the world and Gen Xers are upset about this because, at bare minimum, dude,
Yeah.
don't blaspheme.
Well, he's done it. He did it before. He did another AI image of himself as the Pope before.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, just a week or two ago, he was talking about blowing Iran as a civilization off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has a clear God complex. Like, there's no, like, he literally thinks of himself as God. Most of his MAGA followers think of him as a martyr.
Yeah.
And they think of him as the second coming. My mother thinks he's the Antichrist. She really, really does. She believes he's the Antichrist. And she'll quote scripture around that.
That's a lie. I mean, I don't think that, but that is, I know a lot of people do. But I think my main part is, for those of Trump supporters that are Christians, all I've heard is lip service, though.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has actually done, no one has actually said, you know what, I'm done with this guy. I'm turning away from this completely. I will support the opponents of people he supports because I can't support a blasphemer, right? Like, I remember, reading in history books where people were unsure of electing Kennedy because he was a Catholic. Right? And people just being like, oh, he's going to listen to the Pope before he listens to the Constitution. Well, now we got a guy who doesn't listen to the Pope or the Constitution.
Right.
So what can we do?
Because he thinks he's God. But have you seen the memes that people have been creating around this?
I
The
have.
new AI images, which, of course, okay.
But, this is what we need data centers for, is trolling.
We just need it for trolling. My favorite one is, I'm Dr. Trump, and this is my nurse, Byron Nome. He is highly respected. And then it's Byron Nome dressed. Here you go, Gina. Byron Nome dressed as a nurse with the large breasts. And then someone else did like one of Trump like ascending into heaven. It says, here is Trump as a pilot. Like, yeah, there's another one where he's dressed like in all McDonald's and the Hamburglers behind him and Grimace, and he's feeding this man a burger. There was the one with the pit.
The cast of the pit.
The cast
yeah.
of the pit. And they're all, obviously they're doctors and they're all just wearing Jesus robes while they're surrounding a patient.
It's ridiculous.
It's perfect.
It's ridiculous. But then he says, the press asked him, they said, well, did you post that actually? Like, did you mean to post that? Was that a staffer? He goes, no, I did it. But, I thought I was doctor, like the Red Cross.
Like the Red Cross.
And I'm like...
Well, did you guys see what Caroline Leavitt posted this morning?
No.
She's basically saying she used the word doctored. This was a doctored photo. So I'm wondering if she said to Trump, we're posting this doctored photo of you to look like
And
Jesus.
he read it literally.
And he was like, it was a photo of me as a doctor.
We're in much worse shape than I
literally
thought.
like-
if that is true.
It's the only thing in my brain that I'm like, where did he get the word doctor from? There's literally a Carolyn Leavitt post.
But the man
When is she going to go away? Go on
God.
maternity leave already.
The man
Is she knocked up?
Yeah.
She's knocked
She
up.
is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know.
I think she's having
But
like
my
their
thing
third
is,
kid.
the man has to go to the doctor every 3 weeks. You would think he would know what a doctor would look like, and I'm not entirely sure that any doctor he's visited over the past year looks like that.
He's got all the hand stuff
Yeah.
happening with the massive, it's rot. It's just total rot happening.
See, it's the evilness is what
It is evil.
It's the evilness.
Here, Caroline Leavitt, President Trump's Truth Social post depicting him as Jesus was a doctored image. And then he was like, oh my God. He stood at that press conference and said, I was a doctor. I was a doctor. I literally just think he heard her say she was posting this.
We are in bad shape, y'all.
I want to ask Don, if you really thought that was a photo of you as a doctor, are you sundowning? Is the dementia progressing, or is this late stage neurosyphilis? Because no lucid individual
Could look at that and say, yes, doctor. It's just stop playing in our face, man. Stop it. But anyway,
Speaking of playing in your face,
let me tell y'all this. So everybody out there now probably knows that we have 2 members of Congress who are stepping down because they've been caught in sex scandals. Yep, par for the course. It's that time of year, y'all.
You know,
Never elect a man.
no. So, Adrienne, in the last like 48 hours, Norris and I have been talking about this a lot because I feel like it just kind of like
It clicked.
It just hit us, right? So we were with Swalwell at the State of the Union.
I remember
address.
the videos you guys did.
Well, Norris deleted them all yesterday.
Bye, bitch. Cancel.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think it hit us kind of at like the similar time where it was like, it took like 48 hours since the scandal hit to fully be in like, we were in the company of a rapist. He shook our hands. He gave us a hug. Norris interviewed him. Like I greeted him as he came over to our little, social media creator row banner thing. And he was very jovial and like just the way he entered the room, he wanted attention, right?
Yeah, he wanted attention. I think the thing for me is I'm very cognizant of like personal spacing, right? Because if you interview enough people, you can always tell like who is trying to dominate you with space. They say that about Trump a lot, actually, is that he likes to tower over people and physically
We
impose
remember
himself.
that.
Hillary Clinton debate.
Yeah, with the Hillary
debate.
Clinton stuff.
He was like,
So-
lurch. Like,
So like it wasn't like a he wasn't trying to physically impose himself on me, but
it wasn't like in a negative. Like he
but
wasn't trying to be domineering. It was more of like a lack of awareness that you're
real close to my face. Like I had to like intentionally like give myself extra space. But also on top of that, he was kind of the only guy who was around for a really long time, and he specifically spent a lot of time with all the female creators who were down there. And listen, most of the creators were female, so I'm not trying to make that a bigger thing than what it is. But I find it interesting because it started to feel like, was he trying to get out ahead of stuff? Because it definitely felt like a charm offensive kind of situation.
Well, he was running for governor.
He was running for governor.
And that's our hindsight, right? Like we were discussing this yesterday, and he came into like our press room in the middle of the State of the Union address.
Yeah, he left
didn't
early.
wait for it to end. So he came in at a time where he knew he could be the center of attention and the star of the room.
Oh my God,
And
the
he
egos.
came in like totally bombastic. Like he ran in like shouting like, all right, who wants an interview? Fuck Trump. Like he like turned it on. He was clearly like, I need all of these creators to put out a video, like positive messaging with me. Like he was on his own PR press tour that night.
Yeah, he was. Obviously.
Was he moving his jaw a lot?
No, he was not moving his jaw a lot. It's an inside joke, everybody. He was not
He
moving
did
his
have
jaw
that
a
kind
lot.
of energy.
But he had that kind of energy. He was,
very similar energy.
It was similar energy, yes. But, it was a hindsight thing where I just go, wow, like, here's this guy who I'm sure at some point had already been told by his people, this is going to come out.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that interview with Kevin McCarthy like fucking years ago? Kevin McCarthy was the former House Speaker.
Yeah.
Who did like he left in an embarrassing way. But anyway, I don't remember. Like he gave this interview where he was like, "There's 2 people everyone knows never to bring their kids around at like the congressional family days, and it's Matt Gaetz and Eric Swalwell."
Whoa.
He literally said that years ago.
Well, I mean, these allegations are coming out now, but they were incidents that happened back in like 2018. Like
Some of them are more recent.
several years ago for some of them, though.
Well, and then you have Republican Tony Gonzales, who is also stepping down because he was caught in a scandal messing around with a staffer, and that staffer actually ended up unaliving herself.
Yeah.
And so
It's tragic.
It's
Very
really sad
sad.
and it's tragic because you think about the pressure put on these women of you got to keep this quiet, you better shut up, I'm powerful,
Right.
I could ruin your career, so on and so forth. And it does become just incredibly sad.
Yeah.
To see this happen.
Well, I mean, the thing about this too is like there's allegation that Swalwell sent unsolicited naked photos and graphic messages to these people.
Stop doing that.
This is what, like, how about just stop sexually assaulting people?
And it's
stop.
not allegations. Like, it happened.
Right.
Like, there's dick pics of him, like, swimming around the internet.
It's fucking weird, man.
Why you would ever do that as a sitting congresswoman, let alone just, like, a normal human.
I don't know if we've ever heard about any congresswomen doing something like this.
No.
Do you remember years ago when Attorney General Dana Nessel was running and she said, like, very famously, she had like this fireside
This is
chat.
in 2018.
She had this fireside chat. She's like,
because her opponent at the time had done this.
right. She basically said, you can trust that I'm never going to show you my penis.
If you want a candidate who you will never have to worry about sending a dick pic out, I'm your girl.
Last week I was like, who do I want to see in the next presidential race? All women. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm kind of sick of all of this bullshit with dudes sending unsolicited dick pics.
I'd be here for it.
Stop.
I'd definitely be here for
Fucking
it.
stop.
I don't get it. I don't get the whole.
But yeah,
dick
I mean,
pic
everybody
thing.
got them out. Well, the Dems got Swalwell out pretty fast.
I mean, the Gonzales thing had been a known thing for quite
that's
a
been
while.
going on, but now they got them both out.
Yeah,
Twofer.
They got a
Bogo.
twofer. But the Dems, you know, I don't applaud the Democrats very often, but I will applaud them on this one because the leadership stepped in the moment that they could confirm the information. They stepped in and they said, "You not running for nothing.
Right, you're done. You're fucking done. Get
you're
out."
cooked.
We've got
You're
this.
cooked.
What is it? The jungle primary going on in California right now for the
Word
governors.
to who we
Bye.
calling out there? Tom Steyer. Tom,
Yeah.
you just gonna have to run in California, dog, and lock that down. Get everybody solar panels.
Or I've got a really great idea. Okay, Kamala Harris keeps talking about running for president again. I say, Kamala,
run for
California needs you.
Go
governor.
run
Run
Go
for
over
governor
there.
of California.
She's got about like 8 weeks. You could do it.
You can do it, Kamala. You can do it.
She'd win. But
I don't know. You got to go. And
We don't want you for 2028.
I just don't understand the hubris either. It's like these things that you're doing, people know they're going to come out about you. This isn't like, it shouldn't be a surprise to you that suddenly your career's ended.
yeah. And I mean, it's not like, you know, these are like chill, consensual things.
No.
Like, again, if we're just talking about you just had a ex-girlfriend who, you know, you guys did some weird stuff together, nobody's going to tell you can't run for Congress or can't run for governor because
Right.
of that. No, you are forcing yourself on people and sending unsolicited nudes of yourself. I'm sorry. This is the dumbest shit in the world.
You're a predator.
I'm going to just go on there and say this. Everybody, stop sending naked photos of yourself to people, period. Just stop doing it. Just altogether stop.
So did you guys see like TMZ is offering like $100,000 bounty for anyone with dirt on Congress people?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. You guys.
Oh, guys, if
Get
we
on
don't
that.
get a grant soon, all I'm saying is everybody watch out.
Hey, listen, if TMZ offering that kind of bread, you'll find me out there like what was that Nightcrawler, that Jake Gyllenhaal
yeah.
movie? Like I'm gonna be out there in a
Get
van
camera.
with some satellite stuff so I can upload to TMZ instantly.
I
a good
feel
movie.
like their clicks and their engagement rate went nutso when they were posting stuff about the Congress people on spring break. Like
Well, they just opened
our
the DC
John
branch.
James tip
Yes,
and like
yes.
Lindsey Graham wandering around Disney World alone. Like
Yep.
I think their fucking analytics spiked so high. They're just like, here's more dough. Give us more, guys.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
and they just opened a branch in Washington D.C. now, to where like I really think TMZ is about to go like whole hog on political reporting.
Fucking TMZ, stay in your lane.
I agree, but
That's
it's
our jam.
This is what the people want. The people want to follow their elected officials.
Like, if they can take down more rapists like Swalwell and Gonzales, I'm all for it. But
That's right.
I'm serious. Grant money or we're calling TMZ.
Stop. Now, we're gonna end the show on a I'm gonna choose to laugh at this because the math doesn't math. But we have our good friends out there at West Michigan. We got the West Michigan Republicans who have come out And in a leaked memo.
Oh, it wasn't a memo.
Oh, it wasn't?
Okay, so
Hit me with it.
This is what happened. There was a Republican precinct delegate meeting in Muskegon. Precinct delegates are like the cheerleaders of the party, right? So
I'm a
they're-
precinct delegate.
Ooh.
I am.
Do you want to tell our listeners what it is?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't even know what it is sometimes.
You're supposed to be the person in
Yeah.
your little community around your house, knocking on doors around election time and telling your neighbors like about the candidates that you want them to vote for. So precinct delegates are very important for both parties. The Republicans decided they've got this like 10 times thing is the name of they want you to 10 time your vote, right? So each person, you got to go tell 10 people to go vote for whoever the guy is. So
Sounds like a pyramid scheme.
yeah. So
Basically.
exactly. That's exactly
That's what it is.
So you're sitting in a room with other Republicans and they're showing you this PowerPoint presentation on how to get your voters out and energized. And fuck, I'm going to read it because it was so bizarre. Somebody took a picture.
Someone put this in writing.
Yeah, somebody
They wrote it
typed
down.
this into a PowerPoint presentation and showed everybody else. And somebody just happened to be there taking photos, and one of them got shared with us. So, but
Distill is everywhere. Got eyes everywhere.
got eyes everywhere.
First of all, Muskegon, Michigan, it's a very diverse community. So
Yeah.
that made all of this weirder. But on the PowerPoint, and you can go check our socials, we posted this on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. The slide in question says, we welcome them if they want to vote for us, but we don't need non-Christians, independents, and minorities in order to win. So basically, West Michigan Republicans
Okay.
are admitting they're only chasing white Christian voters this cycle.
We don't need the rest of you. Your
Really
racism is
fucking
showing.
weird thing to say in Muskegon, first of all.
Because you can't win Muskegon
without minority voters.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the math doesn't math, right? Like, okay, West Michigan is very different from the rest of the state, just like the UP is very different from the rest of the state. But I will say this, is that in no way, nowhere in America, if you're trying to win statewide, should you say this out loud?
I mean, good rule of thumb. Yeah.
Right? Because there are quite a few white people who are not racist and will hear you say that and go, great, won't vote for you.
Right.
Why would you write this down?
But they don't need you, Norris. That's
I'm
what they're
aware.
saying. They don't need you.
I'm aware, but I'm just saying I don't understand why you would write it. Right? I can understand if you said it behind
Because
closed
Trump
doors.
says shit all the time now.
But these people
right?
don't have the sauce like Trump has the sauce,
Yeah,
okay?
they don't.
They think they do. They do not.
But it's given that permission to say stupid shit.
It will be their undoing.
Right.
This
This
is
is a deliberate choice by the Michigan Republican Party to double down on the exclusion, the grievance politics, and this movement that's shrinking. You're intentionally excluding people. Your coalition is shrinking. And this is a big part of our conversation when we were talking about Hassan Piker last week. We want to grow our coalition. So yes, if we agree with 95% of the things you said and
Come on
maybe
in.
5% are a little troubling, come on over.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
These fucking people are like, no. Like,
we want to shrink our
We
coalition.
and it's because they want to consolidate power, but that power isn't theirs to give away. Like, that's the difference, right? When it comes to votes, when it comes to a mandate to be in power, the power lies with us and not with these people.
Right.
And so, I just find it to be, really, really odd. Like, it's one of those things where, yes, behind closed doors, you would probably hear this more often than not. But again,
Yeah.
to write it down, to tell all of your precinct delegates this and basically put them out there in the world with this strategy in the back of their heads, right? Of like, we don't need you. It's a weird, absurd thing to say, and also just reminds people that this state is way more racist than people think it is. But if you live in Southeast Michigan, you're having a great time. It's very diverse, very nice place. And, just talk to your friends, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ottawa County, Muskegon County, also very diverse.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful
very diverse.
places.
Yeah, but compared to your St. Joe's, your Hollands, maybe a little bit less diverse. But the point is, at the end of the day, is that we are all supposed to be working towards a common goal of the betterment of the country for everybody.
And more perfect union.
Right? And by saying out loud, actually, we don't want the country to be better for everybody. We don't want it better for non-Christians and minorities and gay folks. We only want it better for Christian white people, which, by the way, that excludes atheist white people, Muslim white people, Jewish white people, like
agnostic
white people,
like myself.
Zoroastrians, like it just. What about all these people who are just not fundamentalist Christians, but are still white?
Excluding a lot of people on Middle Earth.
It's not a winning strategy, folks. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, guys. I have a question for you all because I need something new to binge watch.
Ooh.
Jeez. I haven't been watching anything.
You haven't?
I've been reading. Like every night now. I go to bed at I put the kids to bed at 9:30 and then I read.
I binge watched The Pit.
Yeah.
Everybody's been talking about The Pit.
So I went through both seasons.
The MAGAs were losing their shit over The Pit when they had the episode where the ICE agents came in.
Oh.
They lost their ever-loving minds over
That's a total reason
and
to
then
watch.
The Pit doubled down, and the next episode was all about how this man was dying because he couldn't afford his health care and he couldn't take care of his diabetes.
Yeah.
So it had gotten ridiculously out of control.
Out of control. Yeah. It's a fantastic show. I think the writing can be a little heavy-handed sometimes, but it's still entertaining. So
You know what I also wanted to tell you guys? I'm half annoyed at this, but they fucking canceled the TLC Salt and Pepper In Vogue tour.
Oh no.
Because of fucking Chili.
she's
they
a
couldn't
MAGA.
sell tickets. But okay, I really loved Salt and Pepper and I really liked In Vogue, remember What a Man. I mean, that would have been a fun tour. Fuck you, Chili.
you ruined the fun for everyone.
I mean, seriously.
Being a secret MAGA. No,
Do you know how many times my friends would sing Scrub, back in the day?
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
You have to understand how frustrating that was for me, because this is one of the first women I ever had a crush on in my life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right? And then I sit
she's
back.
still cute.
Right?
Oh my God.
She's still gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
Right? And then I gotta go on TV and see, I've been donating to MAGA for the past. She made, the boilerplate apology. I thought I was supporting this, but it was actually Trump stuff. And I'm just like, don't do this to us.
They went through who she followed online and old stuff she liked, and she couldn't talk her way out of that.
She couldn't
There
talk
was
her way
too
out
much,
of that.
too many.
She Stacey dashed it. It's too bad.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
So many
always have crushes on the secret MAGAs.
That's something you need to work out.
I gotta work something
that
out.
sounds
clearly.
like a therapy conversation.
God.
All right.
That's
While
enough
Norris,
for us today.
While Norris works through that, we'll chat later. We'll see everybody at the Michigan Democratic Convention this weekend, and
yeah.
we'll talk about the winners and losers next week.
Come say hi to us. We have a table. We'll see you there.
Yeah, and it'll be a good time if you guys show up, come chat and holler at us, and we'll be hanging out. But it'll probably be a mess, so we'll talk about it.
Oh, and I'll give you all the good goss if you subscribe to our Patreon. So stay tuned for that on Tuesday.
That's right. And don't forget, you can follow Point of Disorder on all your social media platforms, on Spotify and the Guerrilla Politic and Distill Social, again, on all your social media profiles and platforms. So we will see you all next week.
See you next Thursday. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Point of Disorder. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to everyone who listened today. And if you like us, give us a like, a subscribe, or a review on any place you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Distill Social and at The Guerrilla Politic.
This is the Point of Disorder podcast, signing off. Stay sharp, stay progressive, and above all, stay tuned.